Okay, so let us quickly look at what we had done yesterday. We had not added any case studies, right? We had only done charts, correct? Okay, let me check. So CLV we had done the CTC grouping, right? Then we had done our incentive plan and we have done the project schedule. Would you like me to revise these as well or only the charts?
No, sir, project, this was done day before yesterday. CLV was also done day before yesterday.
Correct. So that's
just
what I'm saying.
yesterday's.
Yeah, only
Just
yesterday. Yesterday only charts is what we did, right? So that's what you would like me to revise?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me open charts and okay. Now the first thing in charts is that when you look at the inbuilt charts, you don't seem to have a lot of options, right? So when I go to insert and charts, you see that there are limited charts available. I have a column, line, pie, bar, area, scatter plot, map, a stock, surface, radar, tree map, sunburst, histogram, box and whisker, waterfall, funnel, combo. That's it. That's not a lot, right? But as you saw with the few examples that I showed you, there is a lot that you can do with these by changing the formatting, changing the color, by creating combo charts, right? So I had already walked you through all of this. So as you can see, I like to take an inspiration. So I read a lot of these reports and I find something that I really like, right? And then I try to recreate it. And the idea is not to recreate it 100%, but try to get as close to it as possible. An example here would be the heat map, right? So this is a Vacancy heat map. And I love the way they have these colors that they're using. And I tried to, as you can see, my result looks almost the same as this, right? So that is the level to which you have to pay detail, you know, getting the colors right, getting the size of the cell right, putting a white border, right? Like that. This was again a BCG report, right? Now, obviously, all of these charts will not be easy. Some of them you will have to really work hard on it. And there's a lot of hit and trial involved because maybe it doesn't work the first time and you have to try different combination. That's a good thing. That is how you learn to become better. So this is the one that we had done. The objective was that I wanted to have a ref line. In the industry, we also call it a baseline. And we wanted to see that how many of these 17 products are either above the baseline or below the baseline. So the original data given to us was only the sales value. So we had the sales for 17 products. And what I did here was I created a reference line in K2. So if I change the value in K2, as you can see, if I change the value here, it changes in all these cells as well. And then there were two very simple conditional statements. The first one said that if the actual sales for accessories is above the reference line, show me the value. Otherwise, show me a blank value. This is the opposite. We are saying that if the accessories value is below the reference line, show the value. Otherwise, show me a blank. So the point is that at any point, you can only have one of these, right? Exactly. You can't have above and below. It doesn't make sense. So I'll just make the chart one more time. So we selected all of the data, product, sales, ref line above, below, and then we inserted our very first basic chart, right? So this one, our basic chart like this. Now let's try to understand what all is happening here. You can see that I have the 17 products on the x-axis, and there are 4 colors, right? So if I show you one of these, right, I have this blue and a red and a green and a purple, right? What do these colors signify? The actual sales value is blue color, which we don't want because when we're showing the above and the below, I don't want to show the same number 2 times, right? That is why we go to select data and I will deselect the sales value. This means we don't want to show the sales value on the chart. So it's a little better now. Now this red is supposed to be a horizontal line because that's the reference line. So it should not be a column, it should be a line. So right click, change chart type. And then on my combo chart, something seems to be stuck. Give me a moment. Okay, that's strange. My Excel restarted. Wait. Sorry about that. Okay. So very quickly, once again, insert charts. And then I selected my basic chart here. And we did not want to see the sales value. So we selected the sales value, select data, and we deselected it. The red is supposed to be a horizontal line. So right click and change chart type. And in combo, we made it a line. So the reference line should be a line and the other two should be columns. But the point is that we don't want to show a blank column. We want to overlap both of them. So first I'll change the color. The green is already correct. The below has to be red in color. And then we overlap it. To overlap it, you double click and then you make the series overlap 100% like this. So here's the problem with charts. You can't really understand charts by reading a PDF or by reading a book. You can learn other topics that way, but it's impossible to learn charts that way. You really have to practice. My suggestion for all of you is to please be curious, right? When you right click and go to format plot area, there are like 100 options available here. And you have to be curious. You have to say, okay, let me go to every single one of these options and see what all is there, right? It's very detailed. Some of these make sense immediately. You know exactly what it is supposed to do. Some of them do not make sense by the name. For example, if I go to labels, there is something called label position. Now you will say, but what does it even mean? What is next to axis and what is high? So if you notice the difference, when I make it high, the label goes to the right side. I personally prefer to have my charts this way because this looks very clean. Why do I want to have the numbers on the left? It's better to keep the numbers on the right, isn't it? So these sort of things, who will teach you all these things? Because there are so many of these things, right? That is why experimenting, exploring is very, very important. Like a lot of people don't know that you can also hide the label. See, if you try to delete it, if I select the label and I delete it, sometimes the chart works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the correct way to do this would be to go and make it none, like this, right? I feel that 90% of what I've learned in charts as a topic have been due to hit and trial, right? Trial and error. Other topics, yes, I read a lot, I read books, I watch a lot of videos, I do courses, but charts is something where you really have to spend time and try every single option. Right. And I don't think we did any other example. I think the only one we did was the bar chart I showed you, and I showed you a couple of others as well. Right. So the course that is there on Teachable right now is a good course. It is going to get even better because I've updated all the content. I haven't recorded it yet, so I'm hoping to record it hopefully this weekend. It will not take me a lot of time. 2 to 3 hours is what it will take to record and then edit and upload all of that. But I'm hoping that by the end of this week, maybe on, I don't know, maybe on Saturday or on Sunday, I will take out some time and do this, right? I'm not sure, but I will try to do it. In any case, in the next 10, 15 days, I'll definitely do it. So you guys will have access to the new videos on Teachable as well, right? Cool. So we've spent a little bit of time on this. I also told you how to choose the right chart type. So very quickly, choosing the right chart type. We will come back to this topic when we do Power BI as well, right? But just a quick glimpse. When it comes to Excel, you can just Google it and you can see that there are different types of charts available. And this is like a reference document. So it helps you decide that, okay, I have this type of data and probably this chart is more suitable for my presentation, right? Like that. It's more of an art than a science. So it's not objective that you always have to use one or the other one. It's important to try different things, and be curious and try exploring different options that you have. Okay, so we're going to start with Power BI, but if you have any questions before that, please ask me. Anyone? Just take a minute, think about it if you have any questions. We have done Excel so far, and we have also done Excel charts. All good? Okay. We will be first working, so we are spending 3 days on Power BI, right? Now, before I get into the more advanced topics, so Power Query, data modeling, DAX, let us first create some dashboards, right? See, you want to learn everything in Power BI, but let's go step by step. So the first example that I'm going to take is a very simple example. It will be taking a sales data, which is my marketing sales data set. Right? I hope all of you have the file with you. Let me just make sure that this is there on Dropbox as well. I'm sure it is, but I'm just confirming once. So in training, MDI, yeah, this one, right? Data sets. I've also given you other data sets so that if you want to practice with other files, you can also always do that later. But for now, we are going to work on the marketing sales superstore dummy data set. I would like all of you to open it, please. Okay, so it's a very clean data. There are no blank rows, blank columns, null values, errors in the data. It's a complete clean data. And you can see that we have multiple columns and about 50,000 records. So we have these. Give me a moment. Okay, so we have these 15 columns and you have 50,000 records. So it's a mid-sized data. I would not say it's a large data, but it's definitely not a small data set, right? There are 50,000 records that we have. What all do we have here? So we have the order date. Let me apply filters to show it to you. So we have the date on which the order was placed, which is 2012, 13, 14, 15. We have the date on which the order was shipped. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So if an order was placed on, let's say 30th December, then it would be shipped after the new year, right? We have the customer name. You can see we have a few hundred customers here. Then we have the city, state, country, region, and market. So these 5 columns are the geographic data, right? So going backwards, we have 5 markets. So we have Africa, APAC, Europe, LATAM, North America, USCA. In each market, we have the region as well, right? So there are 26 regions that we have. After that, we have 165 countries with us, like this. Okay, then we have the state, and then we have the city. Can somebody tell me quickly, if I want to know how many unique countries are there, what should I write? If I want to know the result using a single formula, how many unique countries do I have? How do I do that? Equal to what?
Just equals to in Excel.
I'm sorry?
In Excel, sir, or in Excel? In Excel or?
In Excel, if you want to know how many.
In Excel.
So if unique option is available, then you can use unique. Otherwise,
Right.
you can use the duplicate.
But unique will give me a list, right? I don't want a list. I want to find the count of unique. So what should I write?
So then we can add the count function to it.
Absolutely simple, right? So I will say count A, right? Count all of column F, right? But not column F directly. I want to do unique of column F. Now, why is it giving me 167? Is that correct?
No, sir. It has counted the country as well.
Correct. So I do a -1, right? But that is also not correct. You know why? Because we have selected the entire column. What is coming after the last cell? Everyone? Blank cells. So you have to be very careful about this. If you do unique of an entire column like this, do you see the country heading has got picked up, and at the bottom, this 0, which means the blank has also got picked up. So what should we write? We should always, whenever we're doing this, we should always do -2. So I hope you see the logic here. Why are we doing a -2? Because 1, we are removing the heading. 2, we are removing the null values, right? So we know that there are 165 countries that we have. Okay. After the data, Adish, please, you don't need to raise your hand, anyone. If you have a question, just imagine this is a classroom. Just ask me the question as and when you have it.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, how did you bring that drop down arrow in that first column?
In the first, you mean this one?
Yes, yes.
So I use the shortcut Control-Shift-L. So if you go to data and you select filter, you can see that the shortcut here is Control-Shift-L.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have the data for the geography. So market, 5 of them, region, 26 of them, country, 165, state and city. After that, we have the category, segment, and the subcategory. So you can see that we are selling 3 categories, product categories. So we have furniture, office supplies, and technology. And there are 17 subcategories. So we have accessories, appliance, art, binder, bookcases, tables, chairs, like that. And finally, we have 3 business segments: consumer, which is B2C, corporate, which is B2B, and we're also selling to startups and small offices, which is home office. And finally, we have the sales, quantity, discount, and profit, right? So just spend a minute on the data. We'll be spending the entire day today working on this data set. So if you have any questions on the data, please ask me. And once I've clarified your queries, we will continue and upload this data to Power BI and start working with it.
Can you tell how to clean the data? This is actually the clean data. So what are the things that we have to consider while cleaning the data and how we can do it?
Yeah, I'm not going to explain it to you. I'll tell you the reason why, because that will take another 3-4 hours. And the way the workshop has been planned is that we wanted to do advanced Excel, Power BI, Tableau. It would be too much to cover, but I'm going to share the right references with you, okay? So just give me a moment. First, I'm going to share this beautiful book with you, which is on data cleaning guide. Please see this, everyone. Right? It's a free resource. It's called the Ultimate Guide to Basic Data Cleaning, right? Basic doesn't mean for beginners. Basic means the most basic tasks that you have to do. Even I have to do this when I'm working for a client. Now, if I take you through the topics, you will see that it talks about data checks, rows and columns, missing data, outlier, conditional questions, delimit, concatenate. Some of this we'll do in Power BI as well. But then if you want to talk about Excel specifically, this book is fantastic, right? It's not a very long book, but it's very nice. I mean, you might say, really, isn't this very simple? No, when you actually read it properly, you will see that they have covered some really, really good topics, right? It's a good refresher for all of you, right? So you can just Google it. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Basic Data Cleaning, right? I'll also put it on the chat window. Hold on. I hope I'm able to upload it like this. Doesn't seem like it. Wait. So never mind. I'll put it on Dropbox. 1 second. So we have data cleaning guide, and I'll put it here. Right. So I put it on Dropbox. That's one. Second is that I already have this wonderful course on data cleaning. So if you look at better charts and bundles cover and Excel, right? You guys have access to the course, right? So you will see that there is already a course on master data cleaning and preparation, where I've covered all these things. So things like SUMIF, COUNTIF, left, right, mid, repeat, substitute, find, length, find and replace, flash fill, right? Dealing with errors. All of that has been covered in this course, master data cleaning and preparation. I hope you understand why I'm not doing it. It's not that I don't want to, but then this topic itself is not very difficult. and it will take us a lot of time. And what we covered in the last 2 days was also very important, learning to make charts and dynamic arrays and business problems. And that's why I did not want to cover this part, because this you guys can learn on your own as well, right? I hope that's okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Sir, what I see is that most of these things that you are teaching us, it actually requires a lot of practice. So basically, we'll have to continue practicing all of these things one after the other, and probably understand and research some new things as well that are coming up. That way, we can actually get really advanced.
I spend at least 15 hours a week studying Excel. I'm not talking about client projects and trainings. I'm talking about studying for myself. Okay. I don't think I need to say anything more than that. Right? So the point is that there's so much to do, right? You have to constantly keep on learning. If you feel you already know a topic, learn it better. Trust me, if you are an advanced user of a topic, let's say you know VLOOKUP very well, go online and you will find people doing it better than you in every area. And that's okay. There will always be experts in micro areas, right? But there will never be a point where you say, oh, I think I know enough, or I think I know everything. That will never, ever happen. There's just so much to Excel, especially when you start working with Power Pivot and, programming and working with Power Query, right? Which we'll do in Power BI. You will start to see that, oh my God, like 90% of Excel we weren't even aware of, that Excel can actually do these things. How many of you knew that Excel can connect to SQL Server, right? How many of you knew that in Excel, you can combine multiple tables into a single pivot table? Even today, if you go to the corporate and you ask people, can you combine 3 tables into a single pivot? Very flat answer they will give you is no, it's not possible, but it is. And this feature has been there for more than 10 years, right? If you ask people, can you do programming in Excel? They will say VBA, which I showed you yesterday, right? But 99% people don't know that I can actually run JavaScript and TypeScript on Excel. Look at this. And this feature has been there for more than 2 years, right? So there's a lot to Excel, and that's okay. Don't get worried about it that, oh my God, how will we study so much? See, I'm also not an expert at everything, right? But then you do it little by little by little, right? Any day, after your classes are over and your assignments are done and other engagements are over, if you're not investing an hour and a half a day, simply learning, doing online courses, watching my courses, reading a book, whatever it is, you're not doing a good job with your life. I mean, you have to prioritize this. This is very high on your list of priorities. Just like submitting your college assignments is on priority, this is on equal priority, maybe even more, right? Your 7 versus 8 GPA is not going to make a very big difference in your life. But having the knowledge, which is at an advanced level, is going to make that difference in an interview, right? And that's something I feel very strongly about, right? So never be worried that there is so much to do. Just tell yourself that, am I learning something new every day, right? I had a very long day today, right? Personal engagements, not work engagement, but I had a very long day. After the session gets over at 12, it will take me about 30 minutes to upload the video and all of that. I'm still going to sit and study for some time because I can't sleep, right? I'm incapable of sleeping until and unless I study. I need to have at least 5 pages read or read 5 articles or something like that. I just can't sleep. I just can't fall to sleep if I haven't studied every single day. And that habit formation is the biggest thing. So rather than spending 2 days and then forgetting for 15 days, which I know all of us do, don't do that. Spend 30 minutes a day, but tell yourself you have to take out 30 minutes. Rain, hail, shine, doesn't matter. 30 minutes you have to take out every day, and then you gradually increase it to 45 and 60, like that. Anyway, enough of lectures. Let's go back to the problem. So I hope the data is clear, everybody. I would like you to close the file and please open Power BI, right? Oh, I'm sorry, not PowerPoint. I want to open Power BI. Okay, a little bit about Power BI, so that you understand not just the tool, but also understand what is the ecosystem in which Power BI exists, right? I'll not spend too much time on this, just like maybe two to 3 minutes, right? So Microsoft has a platform called the Power Platform, right? So if I can, oh, by the way, somebody asked me yesterday that some of these links are not clickable. I checked and you're right. Some of these links are not clickable. Some of them are. Unfortunately, I don't know why that is happening. Like this one you can click on, this one you can't click on, right? I'm not quite sure why that is happening. I will have to figure it out. So far, I don't have a solution to that problem. In any case, the name is there. So you can always do a Google search and check. But ideally, I would have wanted you to be able to click on it. But I'm going to come back to you on it, right? Right now, I don't have an answer as to why it is not working. Okay, anyway. So let me just show you Power Platform first. Okay. So the Power Platform that Microsoft has 4 things in it. We have Power BI, which is the most well-known. It's a business intelligence tool, which allows you to clean data, write formulas, obviously do data visualization, right? Then you have Power Apps. Power Apps is a platform for creating applications. For example, you have a mobile app, isn't it? But if you want to create a mobile app for Android, then you have to learn the Android development kit. If you want to create one on iOS, then you have to learn how to work with Swift. Power Apps is a low-code platform, LOW code. Low code means that, yes, you have to do a little bit of programming, but not a lot, right? That is what Power Apps does. So just to give you a quick glimpse of what is Power Apps, everyone. Power Apps is what we call as a low-code platform, right? So we have 2 terms. We call them no-code and low-code. No-code means that it's typically artificial intelligence, so that you don't have to do any coding, right? And you can get your results. Low-code means that you have to do a limited amount of coding. Now, which programming language do we use in Power Apps? We use a language called PowerFX. You would not have heard of it. It's a very new language called Microsoft PowerFX, right? It's a language that is very similar to Excel in a lot of ways. And as you notice, it used to be called Canvas Apps earlier, right? And it is a low-code language, which means that it's a general purpose, typed, declarative, functional programming language. This is very important. It's a functional language, which means that it's very similar to Excel, right? Even though it's sort of programming, it's not as difficult as learning a programming language. I'm not going to get into detail here. I've told you what it is, right? Do you see the difference, everybody? Look at how we write a formula on Excel like this and how we write something on PowerFX. They're quite similar to each other, isn't it? Like obviously not 100% the same, but they're almost, I would say 80-85% similar. And that is the beauty of this. It's very powerful, right? It's like using Excel for building applications, right? Which is so cool because typically you would, let's say, build it on JavaScript, right? So now I can actually use this language to build very similar to Excel formulas. I can build my expressions here, right? Like this. I will not get into detail here. If you're interested and you should read about it a little bit, please make sure to go back and read about PowerFX, right? Okay. Next, we have Power Automate. Power Automate is an RPA platform which allows you to automate your tasks, right? So we have Power Automate. Now, this is what typically they refer to as a no-code platform. I don't know where they have written it, but okay, this is also low-code. Fair enough, right? The idea of Power Automate is that you can automate your tasks. For example, look at this example you have given on the website. They are saying that in SharePoint, when a file is created, so when I create a new file in SharePoint, what should it do? It should automatically get my profile from Microsoft Office and it should create an approval, right? Which means there's an approve reject being created, right? And then this is how I can define the details. So you can see there are lots of parameters that are coming here. There is an item link and there is an item link description. Now, what will the flow be if I continue? You will notice that once this flow is built, then it will automatically send an email using Outlook. So you understand the idea, right? I mean, some of you might have studied this earlier, but the idea of Power Automate is that you can create flows. So similar to how I showed you macro yesterday. Now, macro only works on Microsoft Excel, right? Or Windows or on Word or on PowerPoint. But what if you would like to build a flow for your operating system, right? Which can work with any application, any software. It can work on the internet. work with multiple applications, that is where you need a tool like Power Automate. Now, which are the other automation tools available in the market? So there are 3 of them. We have, how should I show it to you? So we have Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, okay, not this one, RPA. Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, and UiPath, right? These 3 are the biggest in the market. Of course, there are many others, and a lot of consolidation will happen going forward. SAP has their own, Microsoft obviously has their own, IBM has their own, but we are expecting a lot more consolidation to happen in the future. So if you look at the RPA MQ, the Magic Quadrant, this is a few years old, you will notice that these 3 are the largest, right? And then you have a lot of, you would not have heard of the other names, but then you can see there are a lot of others as well. Okay? But RPA, like I showed you yesterday, is expected to be a very large market in the future. And all the reports say the same thing, that RPA market is expected to grow exponentially, right, in the years to come. Okay. So that is what is Power Automate, everybody. Then you have PVA. PVA is the least popular among all of these. It is for building chatbots, right? So Power Virtual Agents. I'm sure all of you know what a chatbot is. So for example, when I go to my website, havishamconsulting.com, Trello, sure. So Swanak, right? Yeah, Swanak, I can't tell you from personal experience because I don't really work on automation other than BBA. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. Okay, if you notice on my chatbot, right? When you are a new user and you come here, right? You notice that it asks you a question and I can put in a response, even though it's under testing right now. It might give me an okay, I've actually disabled it for now, but you get the idea, right? You know what if you have done it on Swiggy or on Indigo, you know what a chatbot is, right? So the idea of a chatbot is that it's typically coding that you have to build, but this makes it easier. Power Virtual Agents again makes it easier. So you can build conversational bots with no coding. Now, I'll be very honest with you. This is a lie. I mean, you can't do everything with no coding. That is ridiculous. How is it possible? What they're trying to say is that it's very easy to use. I agree to that. But you know, when clients say that no programming required, no coding required, that's ridiculous. If I have to say, I would say even more coding is required today, and everybody should learn it. It just sounds very impressive. No coding required. I don't buy into that, line that they have written. But anyway, as you can see, ideally what should happen is that you should be able to do everything by just creating a skeleton, right? So this flowchart that I've created here, right, which makes sense. So if a user says yes, what should happen? If a user says no, what should happen? So you can do all of that in PVA, Power Virtual Agents. Right? Okay, one other suggestion I would give to all of you to understand more about these tools and to understand how companies around the world are using it is to read case studies, right? I'll tell you what I mean. If you Google Power BI case studies, let me also note it down. Okay, so if you Google Power BI case studies, on the official Microsoft website, we have these customer stories. I love going through them. So what they have done is that there are lots of companies that have used Power BI. Let me just pick one, something that you and I both are aware of, right? So let's pick Nestle, for example. And you can see here that they have this very small but very nice write-up telling us how did Nestle use Power BI and what impact did it create in the organization, right? So then you have some initial text, that's not important. Let's look at this part, right? So they implemented Power BI 3 years ago to help give those who make business decisions access to the data whenever they need it without waiting for reports from centralized BI teams. So do you see the need here? Typically, you have to call up IT. You have to tell them, I need the data for the last 6 months. They will go to the central database. They will run a SQL query. They will pull the data and they will send it to you. With Power BI, I don't need to have that intermediary. I can get the data as and when I require it in the format that I want it, right? Okay. So let me just highlight the important parts for you. See, so they have developed a successful centralized data warehouse, but the need to combine the centralized data with other local data sets. Does it make sense? Yes, there is a centralized data at an organization level, Nestle being the world's largest food company, but there are also lots of local data sets. So I'm a HR manager, I create my own file. I'm a sales guy, I create my own file. Now, how does everything come organically together? That is what they want to do, right? And okay, look at this. The current process of expanding Power BI to more of the organization is helping eliminate previous Power BI tools. So they're actually transitioning from Excel and other tools to Power BI, right? So the components that we have here are the BI tool, ML and statistics, data management, data governance, right? So you get my point, right? Like every case study is different and they're not very long. I mean, you can read it like in like 10, 15 minutes. And in most of them, they also show you the final report, which is so cool because you're not just reading theory, you're actually able to visualize what they ended up using, right? So I hope this helps all of you. You just have to go to this website, the customer stories, and I love going through these, right? Even if you read like 4 or 5 of them, I think you'll benefit a lot from it. Right? I'll just show one more to you. Okay, do you see this? They're saying that we used Power Platform, and within 6 weeks, we built a prototype that we could demo to EY client. Okay, let me highlight the important part to you. So, see, we have drastically reduced manual work, even on complex workflows, which is fantastic. So the idea was to improve the workflow engine, right? And look at this part. Okay. Customize EY services for their needs in just 2 months instead of 6 to 12 months. Okay. So please definitely take out some time and go through a few of these. Okay, so now that all of you know what is the Power Platform, right? So we have Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and PVA, Power Virtual Agents. Let us now focus on Power BI. This is the report from previous year, 2021. The new one will come any day now. And you can clearly see that Power BI is #1 in the market, followed by Tableau and Click. These are the top 3 in the market. Then you have a lot of others as well. So you have SAP BI, Oracle BI, TIBCO, Google Data Studio, ThoughtSpot. ThoughtSpot is also very big. SAS is there, right? But clearly the leaders in the market. Okay, I will not take you through the other links right now. We'll do it later. Let's first start with Power BI. Any questions, anyone, so far on the Power Platform that you want to ask?
Sir, we cannot download the dashboards from Power BI desktop, right? The free version.
Of course you can. You can save your work. So once you create a dashboard, just go to File and save it.
Oh, okay, sir. I think I read somewhere that we cannot download it.
No, 100% you can. But when you work on Tableau Public, right, which is the free version, in Tableau
Yes, sir.
Public, you cannot save your work on your computer. You can only save it to the cloud, right? But here, you can save it just as a PBIX file on my computer. Just like an Excel file, you save it as a PBIX file.
Okay, sir.
For the free version, sir, I think we can't share it. Like teamwork can't be done.
Yeah, so we'll come to that later, but then correct. So with the free version, the limitation is that you will not be able to share it with other people as a link. You can send them the file completely, that will work. All the formulas, all the features, all the charts, everything is there in the free version, but you can't share it as a link. But that doesn't matter to you guys, right? You, in any case, you don't have to send it to others as a link, right? So basically, let's say that Power BI Desktop is the only one software. There isn't a paid software. This is the free and this is the paid software. Everything you can do with the free version, you can do with the paid version as well. Of course, there are differences when we come to more advanced options like AI and ML and all of that. But then for a basic to intermediate level, 100% everything is the same. Okay. I'm also working on a free version at the moment. I had a Power BI Pro before, but as of now, I'm working on a free version, right? Okay, so first things first, let us connect Power BI to our Excel file. Which one? This one. To our data set, marketing, sales, superstore, dummy. Okay. How do we do that? I will go to Excel workbook. Oh, hold on. Before you do anything, I would like you all to enable the preview features. So what happens is that every month, Power BI is updated. So they keep on adding new features, but some features you have to manually add. Okay. How do you do that? Let's all do it together. You go to File, and then you go to Options and Settings. One more time, go to Options. And all you have to do is that in the preview features, select everything that you see here. Don't leave out anything. Go to File, Options and Settings, go to Options, and then select every single preview feature that you see. Right? And once you do this, you will have to restart Power BI. Let me also do that. So I will close it and I will restart Power BI. Perfect. Now let me go to Excel workbook. I'm just highlighting it for you. So in the top left corner, go to Excel workbook and connect to the file that I gave to you. For me, it is on my desktop, datasets and dataset marketing, sales superstore, right? Like this.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Sir, could you please repeat the options part again? I kind of missed out on that.
No problem. So I go to File and then Options and Settings. Options one more time. And then in the preview features, right, this one. In the preview features, select every single feature, go to OK, and then close Power BI and restart it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, we'll import the dataset marketing plus sales superstore, right?
Correct. So Excel workbook and then dataset. Why is my double click not working? Anyway, so dataset, marketing, sales, superstore dummy. Now it is possible that you had multiple sheets in your Excel file, but at the moment we only have one sheet in our file. So that's the sheet that we select. So you can either double click or you can click on this box to select it and then go to load. There is a second option called transform data. We'll come to it later, but for now, just select load. And give it about 5 to 10 seconds for the data to get loaded onto Power BI.
Sir, I have a question regarding that. The system requirement for Power BI, I think, sir, 16 GB is required, right, for smooth operation for Power BI?
Yeah, so officially they say only 2 GB. Even though
actually, sir, my laptop RAM is 4 GB, but I think my operation is very bad. That's why I asked.
Yeah, do you have a hard drive or do you have a solid state drive?
Sir, HDD.
No, do you have a hard disk or do you have a solid state drive, like a SSD?
Sir, hard disk, not SSD.
Yeah, so SSD is what is recommended because, I mean, if you go through the official documentation, it tells you that you only need to have 2 GB, right? And they say 4 is recommended. But then, you know, 2 GB basically means that it will not even work if you don't have 2 GB. But then there's a big difference between working and working properly, right? So,
Yes, sir. Yes.
so from my experience training a lot of companies, I have realized that the RAM does matter, obviously. Like if I show you right now, I'm not doing anything, but if I go to my task manager, you can see, so I have a very high spec laptop, right? So mine is going to be very fast. I have a gaming laptop with a 2070 max Q and a 16 GB RAM, all of that. But the point is that if you look at Power BI, 1 GB RAM is being used even idle without doing anything, right? If you notice, because it is also running SQL Server at the backend, so that is utilizing some space as well. So personally, 8 is what I have felt is okay. Even though getting 16 GB nowadays is not very expensive, that's one. But definitely get an SSD. I think most laptops now at least have a second option for an SSD. So when you're installing it, definitely install it on an SSD. Otherwise, whenever you get the chance to update your laptop, please get a solid state drive. Don't get a hard disk.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
At the moment, unfortunately, I can't tell you anything because if it doesn't work very fast, then I'll go slow. That's the only thing I can do, but we can't really do much. Okay. I hope all of you have these columns on the right side. Please confirm if any of you don't have this. All good? Okay. Now,
sir, after that, clicking the sheet one, we need to transform or load.
Load,
right?
For
Okay,
now,
okay.
we are clicking on load. What is transform? What is Power Query? We'll do that tomorrow. Okay? Would the processor also play a role in terms of operation? Because on the website, it does not mention about processor. As of now, you have an i3 3rd gen. Sahil, see, I'll be very honest with you. An i3 3rd gen would be fairly low spec, right? So, I mean, it would not really say anything. It says a 1 gigahertz is more than enough. But then, the newer and the more expensive you have is better. Again, from experience handling different laptops for clients, I have felt that an i5 is more than enough. You don't need anything very fancy. And any new laptop that you get, I think is going to solve your purpose. But you'll have to pay a little bit more money. Don't expect to get a good laptop in 5060. You'll have to up it a little bit because it will last you for a very long time, right? I mean, there are loads of recommendations I can give. The Lenovo Legion is very good. LG Gram is very good, right? I think nowadays all laptops are good. I mean, just increase your budget a little bit. I know I'm asking you to spend a lot of money, but then you will thank me, right? That laptop is very important to your career, right? So don't spend that 20,000 now, because spending an extra 20,000 today is going to help you, moving forward, especially when you move into machine learning and AI. Then you will hate it. You will hate your laptop once you start doing ML, because ML and all will not work with simple laptops. You need to have an expensive laptop, right? Okay. Cool. So I hope all of you have the columns on the right side. Right. Now, why is it called sheet 1? Because that was the name of the sheet, right? But it does not look very good. Like, what is sheet 1, right? I want to call it sales. So I will simply click on the 3 dots and rename, and we will rename sheet 1 to sales. So I just call it sales, like this.
So we can just right click on the name as well.
Right click and rename, absolutely. Right? Same thing. Right? Okay. Now let me show you one of the coolest features in Power BI, which is an AI feature. It is called Q&A, this one. Right? Q&A is for question and answer. just click on it, Q&A, and see what will happen. I'm going to make this a little larger. And at the moment, this filter pane is not required, so I will minimize it. Okay. Now I would like to know what is my total sales, right? So I just need to write, please watch everyone, sum sales, and it will tell me that my total sales is 12.64 million. How cool is that? You don't need to write a formula to get this result. Please try this, everyone. Sum of sales.
Sir, please repeat.
Yeah, so all I did was I selected the Q&A button. Let me zoom it, this one. Right, I selected the Q&A button. And then once I created the Q&A button, we just put 2 words in it. I said sum sales.
Sir, could you please repeat the steps to upload the file? I don't know, there is some problem with.
No issue. Can you share your screen? It will be easier for me to tell you there.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
The participant screen sharing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do that. Yeah. Try again.
So, what were we supposed to do after this?
Double click on sheet 1. Yeah, and go to load.
Load, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That's all. Good. Any other question? Anyone?
So, do I need to click on apply changes? There are
It will go away automatically. That notification will go away.
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Right. Any other question? Anyone? Is this working, everybody? The sum of sales when you click on the Q&A button?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's be a little more adventurous. This was very simple, no? Let me say sum of sales by category. That's nice, isn't it? Like you don't have to make a pivot table or write a formula, then create a chart. In one single question, I'm able to get sum of sales by category, right? Like this.
So, where is the Q&A button? I'm not able to see.
Yeah. Can you look at it here?
Okay. That's
This one.
Yes, got it.
Or you can also go to insert and you have the Q&A button here, right? At the top. Insert Q&A. Same thing.
Sir, as it is showing chart in that, can we get the numbers also?
Absolutely. Would you like to guess what should we do if I want to see the data as a table? Sum sales by category. What do you think we should do?
In text or?
As table.
Oh, it is already in table. I was thinking that we could get in text. So table like that. Okay. That was chart. I was thinking that. Okay, sir, got it.
Right. Also, I'm not quite sure. Okay, one second. It is still showing me the 1 second. It's still showing me the count, but I don't want to count. So hold on. That's not good. So show me. Let me think. Okay, it refuses to work. See, they keep on making changes to the backend. So sometimes it's a little quirky. It might not work properly. That's okay. Like in this case, I'm not able to get the sum. Let me just try one more time.
So you can use sum of sales.
Let me just try one more time. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working for me, but anyway, that's not important. Let's try something else. So I want to look at sales, right? By state as a map. Now see how powerful the tool is. When I say as a map, it will actually make a map for me. Or not state, let's say sales by state as map for India. Please try this. I'm still not quite sure why it's showing me the number of sales and not the sum. Can you just confirm if you are also able to see the count, or are you able to see the sum?
Sir, it's the count.
Sir, I can
It's
see
a
the
count,
sum.
sir.
Is it the count for everyone?
No, sir, I can see the sum.
Yeah,
Sum
it
of
should be the sum. It should be the sum. I'm not quite sure why it is not showing it to me, but we'll figure that out later. Right? Hold on.
Sir, I wrote sum sales by country in map. So there I could see the sum.
Yeah, it's still not working for me. Like I said, the tool is something they are still building. So sometimes it gets a little confused. It's not working. Let me just try one more time. Right? Oh, hold on. You know what? Is it because of the name of the table? Let me just try one more time. Fact sales. And I want to select the Q&A. And let's put in, hold on. Okay. So sum of sales by category. Yeah, it's working now. Yeah, so what was happening was that the name of the table was also sales and the name of the column was also sales. So there was some ambiguity there. So just make the name different. Don't call it sales, call it something else. So sum of sales by state as map for India, right? It should work now. Yeah, please try this. Any questions, anyone so far?
Sir, for me, the visual map was disabled. So I had to go to options and in settings and options, and I had to enable the visuals of maps. So this is just in reference for other of my colleagues who might face the same issue.
What was disabled for you?
The visuals, sir, the mapping, like the visual of the map.
I don't follow. So you said that in options.
Yeah. If we go to in the global settings, there will be security option in above, sir.
Okay.
Global section security.
Okay.
Security. Yeah. And you see an option where it says, custom. No. Yeah, that one, map and field map.
This one?
That was unchecked for me. Yeah, that was unchecked for me.
I'm not sure why it was unchecked. It should not be unchecked, but good to know.
I don't know, sir. It was probably a default setting for that.
Yeah.
So mine will also was a similar. We have to enable it also.
Sure. Okay. I've never had this problem earlier, but good to know. Cool. Any other question, anyone so far? Now, see, this is still a feature that they are building, so it will become more powerful going forward, right? So, for example, right now, if I click on this gear icon, you can see that I can actually teach Q&A, right? I can go to field synonyms and I can give different terms to sales. For example, I can say that sales is called Can you see this? I can also call it revenue. I'm just giving you an example. So I'm calling it revenue here. Now, what does that mean? It means that now when I go back to my Q&A, and if I say sum of not sales, but revenue, it works as well. You get my point, right? So that's the beauty of the tool, that they keep on building more and more features in
Sir,
it.
can you do it again, sir? What was the option?
So I went to this gear icon, right? And then we went to field synonyms, and then I can give synonyms. So I can give alternate terms for the same field.
Okay, sir.
All good? All right. Any other question, anyone? Can you think of any other question that you might want to ask? Okay, so let me ask a different
Sir,
one.
So what is the main use? Like, why do people generally use Power BI? Like, I understand that is superior, but is it just because of the processing speed of huge amount of data sets and some machine learning and it's faster, or is that like something unique that only Power BI can do that some of the other softwares can't?
Yes, 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 yes. It's a yes to everything, right? There is nothing that is unique to any tool in the world, right? Almost nothing.
Yes.
Whatever you can do in one tool, you can do in a different tool as well. I'll just show you something to get my point across.
Yes.
Please look at, I was preparing something on Lucid yesterday. I would like to show it to you. I would like to show you guys a dashboard. Okay. I'm doing this for my Cozy Code training. This one. How does the dashboard look, everyone? Not bad, right? Everybody? Not bad, right? This dashboard is more than 20 years old. The point I'm trying to tell you is that dashboards is nothing new. These features, this ability to create dashboards and dynamic elements and charts, they have been there for a very long time. Cognos, I could have done this 20 years back, create a map. Of course, right, today it looks a little more beautiful, but then it's nothing special that we couldn't have done it long back. So the idea is that nothing we are doing in Power BI is unique. Nothing we are doing in Tableau is unique. Yes, they all have their areas of strength. For example, the dashboard I can create on Tableau will look much better visually. Power BI is much better at data cleaning. It's much better at writing calculations, right? But there are lots of tools in the market, right? I can do this in Click as well. I can do this in ThoughtSpot as well, right? So some differences are there in all the tools, but by and large, they're interchangeable, right? For a general typical business requirement, I can use any of these tools.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, how is it different from Tableau? Like when I was using Tableau, so I saw that there was longitude, latitude mentioned already in the data. But in this data, do we have that already mentioned? I don't.
Yeah, so when you make a map manually and I keep the, for example, if I keep the country in the location, it will not automatically detect the lat and the long, but if you have the lat and the long, you can put it manually.
Sir, is it already embedded with the data that we are uploading or?
No. I'm giving the country name. I don't have the lat and long with me. It is automatically detecting the lat and long for the countries, right? But
okay.
Microsoft is partnering with TomTom for their maps, right? And they use Bing Maps. Tableau has partnered with Mapbox. So they are partnered with a different company. That's why maps on here, maps and on Tableau are going to look a little different.
Sir, but it looks similar almost like.
All
Uh,
tools look similar. There is no tool that looks different. If I show you click dashboard, by looking
sir,
at it, can you tell
sir,
me if it was made on Click or Power BI or Tableau or Google Data Studio? No, they all look the same.
sir, also one thing, like whenever we upload any Excel or CSV file in Tableau, sometimes it doesn't read the latitude, longitude. Like there are a lot of filtration process done before uploading, like the data that we are using now, it is already filtered and everything is okay. So if it would have some discrepancies, can we create a similar graph?
See, I can't answer that question without looking at the data, because when you say there is a discrepancy when something is not correct, what does that mean? What is not correct, right? How would we clean it? I will not be able to answer that unless I look at that data.
Okay, sir, got it.
Right? We will discuss these things eventually. So for example, in Tableau, you have something called Tableau Prep, right? Tableau Prep is a tool for cleaning data, right?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, on Power BI, you have something called Power Query, right? So they are competitors, right? So you can clean data in Tableau Prep, you can do it in Power Query also. But then you also have something called Alteryx. Alteryx also allows you to clean your data, right? Then there is an open source tool called Nime. Nime also allows you to do the same thing. See, the point of showing all this to you is to tell you that the market is not defined by one tool. You know, like in the case of Excel, there is really no competition, right? I mean, fine, you might say Google Sheets, but then how many people really use Google Sheets at an enterprise level, right? Excel is like 99% of the market, right? While a lot of people are trying to come up with alternatives, we don't really have an alternative. In the case of BI, in the case of data visualization, there are many options in the market. But Power BI is the one that is growing the fastest. It is being used by 97% of Fortune 500 companies. So 485 out of 500 top companies are using Power BI today. If I show you my clients.
Sorry to interrupt, just a question. That is Nime and Alteryx the same?
See, no tools are the same, right? Each of them, there are certain similarities. It's like a Venn diagram, right? So what does the Venn diagram mean? It means that some features are common, some features are unique to each of them, right? Nime is a complete data science platform. So is Alteryx, right? It can do many more things than what Power BI and Tableau can do. But when you look at data visualization, Tableau and Power BI are much stronger than Alteryx.
Yeah, but sir, I'm asking that if I'm suppose learning Alteryx or Nime, is learning both required or learning any one of them required? That is what
First things first, you can't learn everything, right? Because there are so many tools in the market. You have to learn Excel, PowerPoint, programming. How much will you learn, right? Also,
Exactly.
learnings are transferable. So once you learn the act of data cleaning, the process of data cleaning, once you know what is a join, what is null values, and how do you do group by, if you learn the fundamentals of data cleaning, your learning should be transferable. If you learn how to do data cleaning on Power Query, you should be able to do it on Tableau Prep. You should be able to do it on Nime. You should be able to do it on Alteryx as well, right? The software might be different. The interface might be different. The formula might be different, but the process will remain the same, isn't it? Did you not see the example I showed you on YouTube on my channel where I said that how do you create a reference line on Power BI, Excel, Tableau, right? Same example on 3 different tools. The formula is day and night. It looks absolutely nothing similar to each other, but we are accomplishing the same goal, right? So I am a strong believer in the fact that you can't learn all tools because you don't have that level of time. But if you're learning a tool, your learning should be so good that if tomorrow somebody asks you to work on a new tool, you should be able to transfer your learning. Like I have been working with Power BI for a very long time. I started working with Tableau very late, but today I'm a very good Tableau user as well, right? Because I see, okay, this is how you do it on Power BI. This is how you do it on Tableau. I will just give you all one example. Before I come back to the topic, we also have to cover a few more things. So just one example I would like to give you. I created this video on Tableau where I said, how do you find YOY growth? Please look at this. So I explained how do you find the year-over-year growth in Tableau and in Power BI. Now, because I already knew how to do it on Power BI, my fundamental was clear. I knew the process, but I had to learn the function. Look at this. In Power BI, we write variable, calculate sum, previous year, divide. Okay. How do we do it in Tableau? Completely different. We use Zn sum, lookup Zn sum. Do they look similar to each other? Of course not. But the process is the same. The logic is the same, right? What you are trying to accomplish is the same thing. You're trying to find out the difference from previous year to current year. So now you might say, but how will it help you, sir? If you learn Power BI, Tableau looks very different. I don't think so. I feel that if I know exactly fundamentally how one works, I can always learn how to do it on a different tool as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Right? See, I can't give you a simple, nice answer saying, do this, don't do this. Life is more complicated than that, but don't worry too much. These are good questions, all of you. But then I think the focus now should be to learn Power BI. Of course, you will have many questions. What should we learn? How much of our time should we spend on one, on the other one? If we learn Power BI, should we also learn Google Data Studio? I will answer all those questions. Right? Let's just continue a little bit with our topic first, right? Okay. I want to ask a different question. So I will say sales, okay, by order year, sales by order year. So it creates a line chart. But I also want to say by order quarter, correct? By segment. Now, do you see what it is doing? So nice, right? It is creating 3 line charts, one for each business segment, consumer, corporate, home office, right? And you are looking at the granularity of year and the quarter, right? Please try this, everyone.
So can we edit the charts over?
Of course, of course. See, this is just a feature. If you want to edit the chart, we'll be doing it later. Right now, if you want to edit it, you will first have to convert it into a normal chart. Right now, it's a Q&A, right? So you can't make changes right now. If you want to change the color or make it into something else, right? I'll have to first convert it into a normal chart and then I can make changes to it. We'll do that. Okay. Now let me show you something very cool. Please watch. This is my first Q&A. I'll just copy paste, Control C, Control V, and I will make one more. So I will say sales, just the sales, okay, nothing else. Below that, I will write profit. Correct? And then we don't need to make it so large. I will create one more chart, everyone. So again, Control C, Control V. Right? And here I want to say top 5 customer name, okay, as table. All good? So we are looking at the order year and the order quarter for all the 3 segments. I'm looking at my sales and my profit and the top 5 customer. Now here's the best part. I can make yet another chart. So below this, I will make one more. And here I will say sales segment as a pie chart. Right? Now watch how cool this is. These are all interconnected. That means that if I click on consumer segment, look what will happen. Everything will change. Right? And let me just make this a category. That would be better. Look at this. Do you see? Top 5 customers are changing. My sales and profit are changing. My trend line is also changing. Did you see how easy that was? Imagine doing something like this on Excel. Most of it is not even possible. I can't connect 2 charts with each other. It's just not possible, right? And even otherwise, to create something like this, it will take me a lot of time and effort, right? So see how easy it was to do this in Power BI. Any questions, anyone?
Sir, I'm not able to get this pie chart.
Get which one? The pie chart.
Pie chart.
Have you written the same 3 words, sales segment pie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just share your screen. Let me check.
Sure, sir. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah. Okay, just write sales by segment. Write sales by segment as a pie chart. Sales by segment as pie.
Is it because of the name of the sheet?
Thank you, sir.
Correct. Unfortunately, there is very little documentation available on this. Like if you go to the Microsoft website, they barely tell you anything. So you have to figure this out on your own. Some things work, like the top 5 customer names works perfectly. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly, so it's very hard to say when it will work and when it will not work. But remember, this is just a feature. It is not like the most important thing in Power BI. It's just one among many different features. But this is something very unique, right? Like, I mean, you can't really do these things in other tools, correct? But that is also not true. I can actually do this on Excel as well. If I can just show you. Excel also has an AI feature now called Analyze Data. Now, you guys might not have this feature because it's only available on Microsoft 365. Can you confirm if you have this Analyze Data with you in the Home tab?
Sir, yes, I have.
You do? Okay. So when we click on, this is the data I have, right? Exactly the same data. If I click on Analyze, it is sort of like the Q&A. And this is pretty powerful, right? It can't make charts, but it can answer questions for me. For example, after I analyze my data using Analyze Data, if I want to know who are my top 10 customers in Uttar Pradesh in the consumer segment, I can actually ask that question. I can say top 10 customer name in Uttar in consumer. That's pretty good, right? Top 10 customer name by sales in Uttar Pradesh in consumer segment. How cool is that? Imagine how much time I'm saving you by not having to write a formula or to make a pivot table, right? That's it. I just ask a question. So this is the future of Excel. Already these features are there. I don't know if you guys are able to do it or not, but then this is available only on Microsoft 365. It's a wonderful feature, right? And going forward, they will keep on improving the capability, right? So, I mean, a lot of your work that you do manually, you should be able to now do it just by asking a question. Right? So it's not like unique to Power BI. Other tools can do it as well. So if I show you ThoughtSpot, you can see that. Now, how do I show it to you? 1 second. Okay, please see this, everybody.
Insights having identify the best customer.
Very similar to Power BI, but much more powerful.
Questions of your data.
iPhone 7
just like
says
that.
last quarter, and it automatically creates a map for you.
And automatically.
And even better, do you see all this? It is giving you many more details about the data as well.
That's where Spot lightning rows of data, all in seconds. Turn dozens of personalized insights you can trust. Sure that the insight comes complete with a smart narrative in natural language, making it.
So this area is called natural language. So this is an intersection of business and technology, where we talk about using natural language to ask questions and get responses, right? So it is there in Power BI, it is there in Tableau, it is there in ThoughtSpot is very, very good at it. Tableau and Power BI is okayish, not the best in the market, but then good enough for most users, right? Cool. We will continue. We'll make one more chart, but any questions before that? Anyone? So this is Q&A. I'll also save it in my folder, and I'll call it PBI, and then we have 23rd March. All okay? All right. Next, we want to create a dashboard. And what I would like to do here is to see my change over time, right? So I want to see in 12, 13, 14, 15, how has my sales been like? Now, the first thing I would like to do is to change the color of my page. It doesn't look very good, right? It's a white background. It looks like a PowerPoint slide, which is not a good thing. I would like it to look a little better, a little different. Now in PowerPoint, how do you change the background color? You can just right click and change it. Here, the right click does not even work. The option to change the size and the color is to go to format. Right, everyone? So we were on build visual before, but now we are going to format. And here we select canvas background. I can choose either a image, but for now I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to choose a slightly interesting color. So let me go to more colors and choose something here, right? And then reduce the transparency to 0% like this.
Sir, did we imported a new Excel file, right, on Power BI, other than after the sales data?
We're working on the same file. I've just created a new page. That's all.
Okay.
Like you create a new page on a new sheet on Excel, I've created a new page here. Right? And then we went to format. See, the interface is very different to both Excel and PowerPoint. So you have to spend some time and get used to it. In the beginning, obviously, it will look very different and it will take time. It's not difficult, but then expect to spend some time on it. It's not, I mean, don't assume that I know Excel, so I will understand this as well. The interface is completely different.
Sir, I understood the background part. So I
That's
just
good. Okay, cool. All right, so we have changed the color. I would like to show my total sales value just as a number. How do I do that? I will go to this card option. The visualization that has this 1, 2, 3 written on it, that is called the card, right? Please select that. And in the card, I'll keep it in the top left corner. I'm going to put the sales value in the field like this. The sales value in the field after making the card. And if I copy and paste it, below that we can keep the profit as well. So remove the sales and keep the profit.
Sir, please repeat the process in the copy fields.
Control C, Control V.
Okay.
Sir?
Yep.
So my background is not changing.
Yeah, make sure that the transparency is also set to 0%, like this.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right? By
Thank you,
default, it will be 100% transparent. You'll have to change that.
Thank you, sir.
Correct. Now we would like to look at India, isn't it? So I will create a map, this one. The one that looks like a globe. We will select the map. And in the map, we will keep location. I'm sorry, the country in the location. In fact, let's keep the state in the location. Let us keep the state in the location.
Sir, how did you get the location?
Yeah, so I selected the map, this one. Right? And in the map, I kept the state in the location. Good, everyone. But here's the thing. Right now, it is showing me every single country in the world. I would not like to do that. I would just like to show one country at a time, right? So how do we do it? Let's watch. I will create a slicer, which is this option. So far, what have we done? We have created the card to show the total sales and the total profit. We have created the map to create a map with all the countries in it, all the states in it, and then we are creating a slicer. And in the slicer, I will keep. Oh, by the way, one more thing. If you have selected the map or any visual and you click on the slicer, it will get converted to a slicer. Don't do that. What is the correct way to create a new visual? Click outside and then click on a slicer. I hope that part is okay. If you select something and you click on a new chart, it will get converted to that chart, right? So the correct way is to first click outside and then make a new chart. So we'll make a slicer and we'll keep the country in it. So what will happen now is that any country you click on, it will automatically highlight the states in that country. So see how nicely they're interacting. Right? So we want to select India. So let's just scroll down and select India. Like this.
So can you please repeat the map part one more time?
Give me a moment. Okay, so for the map, we are selecting this visual, right? And we are keeping the state in the location. That's all.
Yes, sir.
So could you repeat the slicer part again?
Absolutely. So for the slicer, we are selecting this visual, right? And again, we are keeping the country in the slicer. Just wanted to try something out. Give me a moment. But then how do I change the, give me a second. If I look at the magnifier, Control Alt D, Control Alt F. Okay. That's too large. Cannot figure this out later. Not important. Any questions, anyone so far? Why is the size of each state exactly the same? That is not possible, right? We know that every state is doing a different number in sales, isn't it? So why is it that every one of these dots is the same size? Anyone? So what we'll do is I will keep my sales in the size. We have kept the state in the location, but the moment I put my sales in the size,
So it's the state in there. So that's why the bubble is the same size.
that is correct. But then why is it the same size? Because we kept nothing in the size.
Yes, sir.
So the moment I put the sales in the size, you notice that Maharashtra is a little larger, UP is a little larger, Puducherry is smaller, like that. Right? Okay, now let's do something smarter. I am looking at the state, but I would also like to look at the city. So ideally, what would I like? We have UP. If I click on UP, it show me all the cities in UP. Right now, that is not happening. It is only showing me the state. So what do you think we should do with the city? Where should we keep it?
Location.
In the location below the state, like this. So what will happen? Now, when I go to UP and I click on it, nothing is happening. But do you see these arrows at the top? Let us see what the arrows do. I'll take you through them one by one. First, we have the drill down. What the drill down does is that it makes every one of these states clickable. So I can click on the state. For example, if I click on UP, you will notice it shows me all the cities in UP. How nice is that? How do you go back up? Click on the up arrow. So
Sir, can you show that again? How can you add the city?
So while adding the city, ultimately it will be coming down the state, na?
Correct. Because that is a hierarchy, right? Country, state, city, like that.
Okay.
Right. So when I click on Maharashtra, it shows me all the cities in Maharashtra, like this. Okay, but then we also have two other arrows, right? So if I click on the double arrow, it will only show me the city, not the state. So if you notice, right now, one of these is not working properly. Right? This is a very common problem. The issue is that there is a location called Salem. Now, Salem is in Tamil Nadu, but Salem also happens to be in North America. Now, you might say, but why is that problem happening? Because Power BI does not know that which Salem it is. Is it the one in India or the one in North America? Now, how do you fix this problem? Ideally, you should have the latitude and the longitude. Because if you have the lat and the long data, even if there are 5 countries which have the same city name, there is no confusion, right? I know exactly that it belongs to one particular country. So the reason right now the problem is happening is because I don't have the lat and long. If you ideally have the lat and long, this problem will not happen, right? And if I click on the 4th arrow, it will show me all the cities in India. Right? So I would like all of you to try all the 4 arrows. Tell me if you have any question.
Sir, actually, I'm unable to add the city in location. It's automatically getting added in legend.
No. So the correct way to do that would be to not click on the checkbox. You have to drag it like this and keep it below the state.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Don't select it like this. Then it will go in the legend. We don't want that, right? Drag it.
Okay, sir.
And keep it below the state. You can keep the state in the legend as well. so that every state has a different color. That would make more sense.
Sir, are these colors changeable?
Of course, I can go to format and then I can change the color for each of the states, right?
Okay,
In the
yes.
format option.
It is more user friendly, sir.
Then what?
So Tableau is similar, totally similar, like not totally 90% similar, I can say, but few things are different.
Let me show everyone. Those of you who have never worked on Tableau before, even though we'll spend an hour on Tableau as well, very quickly, I want to show you how similar it is. Same data, okay? How similar it is to do the same thing on Tableau. Personally, I feel Tableau is much simpler, but it's a very difficult thing to say. There are certain things Power BI is better at, certain things Tableau is better at. But I'll tell you how to do the same thing in Tableau. Please watch. Same data, okay? I will double click on the country, okay? I will click on the plus sign to go to the state. Now we only want to select India, right? So I will put my country in the filter so that I can only select India here. Correct? What about the size? I will keep the country in the color so that the colors change. Oh, I'm sorry, not the country, but the state in the color. Also, I would like to change the size as per the sales value. So sales is in the size, and I will change the size like this. Like I said, more or less, we are doing the same thing, right? What we did on Power BI, we're doing the same thing on Tableau as well. But the interface is very different, right? Here you have to drag and drop into the color, into the size, right? Here you have this formatting option like this. But I genuinely believe that as long as you understand what you want to create and why you want to create it, what is the insight that you want to present, you can do it in every tool. One difference is that in Power BI, I cannot keep the number. That's a big limitation. I can only go to category label and show the name of the state, which is okay, but I can't show the number. In Tableau, you don't have that restriction. See, if you want to show the name of the state, that is also possible. If you want to show the sales value, that is also possible. I can't do this in Power BI. That's the big difference between Power BI and Tableau.
Sir, then you mentioned that 97% of the firms are using Power BI as of now.
Yeah, but I did not say that only 3%
Yes.
are using Tableau, right? Because see, any large firm in the world will almost never only work on one tool, right? So if you think of any large organization in the world, Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Unilever and Toyota, they will be working on multiple tools, right? Because they're large organizations. So for example, let us say, I'm just thinking of the right example. Let's say Kia. Kia in India might work on Power BI, but Kia in Korea might work on a different tool, right? Maybe in the finance team, they use Power BI. Maybe in the marketing team, they use Tableau. So like Amazon has been one of my clients. Amazon uses multiple tools. They use Click, they use Tableau, they use Power BI, right? For different requirements.
Okay, so yes.
Sir, please, if you could repeat, how did you change the colors in the data field?
Sure, of course. So I go to the format button here. Right now we are on the field option, correct? But I want to go to the second option called format. Before that, you keep the state in the legend to change the color. Right? If you don't keep the state, all of these are the same color. The moment I put the state in the color in the legend, it will give me 25 different colors for 25 different states that I have. I don't know if there are 25 or more, but I think so. 6, 9. Let me just check once as to how many states are there. $25. Yeah. right? Okay, let's continue. So I have the slicer. I can choose, as you can see, different countries here. Everything looks great, right? One more time, how do the arrows work? If I click on UP, nothing happens. But if I click on this drill down button, what will it do? Now I can click on UP and see the cities, correct? Okay. What about the expand button, the fourth one? It will show me every state and every city individually like this. We'll do the arrows in other examples as well. Now I want to make a trend line. I would like to see the sales over time, right? Or a trend line, or maybe a area chart or a column chart, whichever one we want. So I'm going to make a column chart like this. And in the column chart, I want to keep, I'll make it a little wider. In the column chart, I will keep my order date in the axis and my sales in the values. And let me move it down so that this can be increased in height. Can you all do this, please? Make a column chart. I'll highlight it for you. So make a column chart. Order date is in the axis and sales is in the values like this. Right? Okay, now let's understand how the arrows will work. Let me go through it one by one. If I click on the drill down button, which is this one, right now it is showing me 2015, correct? If we click on it, it will show me Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 only for 2015. If I click on Q4, it will show me the 3-month. If I click on December, it will show me all the days in December. How nice is that? Correct? Okay. Now, if I click on the double arrow, it is going to the next level. So it is showing me Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Can somebody tell me what is this Q4 here? When I go to the next level, what is this Q4?
So next year Q1.
No. Some other answer? Is it the Q4 for 2015 or for 2012? Which one is it?
Might be the summation of all.
Absolutely. It is the summation of the Q4 for all the years combined. That means that if I add up the Q4 of 12, 13, 14, 15, this is what it means. I'm sorry, this one, right? But the problem is that it is adding up the Q4 of all the 4 years. Maybe I don't want to see that. Maybe I want to see it individually. So now I can go back and I can click on the expand button. And this is going to show me the data for every single year, every single quarter. If I click on it one more time, it will show me the month, and one more time, it will show me the day. Now I know what you're thinking, that is this really a good way to present the data? No. So you know what we do? I'm going to make one more slicer. Like we did one with the country, I will click outside, go to slicer, and I will make a slicer for order date. Right? So we get a slicer for order date, and this is very nice because when I'm at my month level, I can actually move the slicer, and do you see how my chart is also changing? Right? Like this. So I would like all of you to try this, please. Please create a slicer for the order date.
Sir, that means I can just give any custom range that whatever I want.
You can just click on it and you can select any date that you want.
Sir, even with the slices, right? On like the drag buttons, I can just drag the right button as well.
You mean this one?
So the right one, one on the other end.
You mean this one?
Yes, sir. I can drag that as well, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a between, right? So you can choose any period that you want to see. Any questions? Anyone?
Sir, I understood the slices, sir. Could you please show the bar graph once more, just like which option you clicked on?
Yeah, so I've selected the second one, the stat column chart.
Okay.
And order date is in the axis and sales is in the values.
Got it.
You can also make this into a line chart if you wanted to. So I can select a line chart here, or I can make it an area chart, right? Like that. Right? Any questions? And of course, you can add the Q&A as well if you wanted to. So I'll just add a Q&A here. That will make it even better because now I can simply ask a question. So let's say top 3 customer name by sales, right? And that doesn't work. By sum of sales, no, that doesn't work either. So let me try a different one.
Sir, it works for me, sir.
Yeah, that's the problem with Q&A. Sometimes it gets a little confused, but that's okay. Yeah, and let's just change it to 3. Perfect. So we have the top 3 customer name by sales as a table. And this is wonderful because everything is dynamic. If I change the range, do you see how the customers are also changing? Okay. And I can, of course, choose a different country as well. Let me just choose the US, for example. So we have the United States like this. Okay. So 50 states.
So the sales figure and profit figure is also changing with the person's name also, no?
Correct. They are changing, right? So the KPI is on the top left corner. That is also changing, and the top 3 customer and the number is also changing.
So it is showing that there was a 1.23K sales from the top 3 customers, or it is showing according to the country.
Oh, you mean this? No,
Yes,
no,
sir.
this is the total sales, not for the top 3.
Okay, okay. That was asked.
Yeah. The question is not a filter. It is just the 22.25K is the total sales. So for this period, right? Let's say from 2015 January 1st to 30. So for the last 1 year, if I look at Afghanistan, I have 6.63K, but this is only for the top 3, right?
Okay.
So, do we have any option of making it static? I mean, out of these 4 or 5 things, one we don't want dynamic then?
Yeah,
Is there any
absolutely.
option?
So by default, everything will be connected to each other. In case you want to make it disconnected for some reason, I can select my control. So the slicer is what I'm controlling other things with. So I'll select the slicer. I'll go to format and then select edit interactions, right? So, and I will turn the card to this one, to none, right? Like this. Let me just move it a little below. So 1 second, how do I show it to you? Yeah, so to none and none. This means that this timeline, when I change the date, it is not going to change my sales and profit, right? So when I change the country, you will notice that the sales and profit changes, but when I change the timeline, it doesn't change, right? So format and edit interactions is what you have to do. We'll be covering this later, but then this was a quick answer to that.
Thank you, sir.
Tableau is opposite in this way, which means that in Tableau, everything is not connected by default. You have to manually say that I want to use it as a filter. I want to connect everything. In Power BI, everything is connected by default. And if you want to break that connection, you can always do that. Right? Great. Any other question? Anyone? So this was our first dashboard. Right? We'll just do one more example. How many of you have been able to sign in to Power BI with your college account? Or rather, is there anybody who has not been able to do that? Anyone?
Sir, I tried, but it was not working.
Tried with what? With your
the college
account?
ID. Yes.
No,
Sir,
be more
I have
specific. When you say it
signed
wasn't
in.
working, what does it mean? Were you getting an error or something?
It was saying that it's not that particular domain is not supported.
Sir, I have signed in with the college ID.
But how is that possible? If it is working for one, it should work for the others as well, no?
Yes, sir. It is work with college ID also.
Yes, sir. It is
think
working for
should
me as
work.
well.
It should work. It should work. Just try it one more time. Otherwise, we'll figure something out. Okay. Now, why do we need to sign in? Everything that we have done so far, you don't need to sign in. Okay. Everything you do in terms of formula, we haven't done any formulas, but in terms of visuals, you can do it without signing in. But there's one thing for which we do need to sign in, which is called custom visual. We just do one example, then we'll continue tomorrow. Can you all go to more visuals, please? First, make a new page and then go to more visuals. Okay. Now, More Visuals is a marketplace where you have a lot of other visualizations available. And there are like 300 plus visuals available here. It's a very long list, right? Some of them have been made by Microsoft. Some of them have been made by other companies. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, right? So I want to show you one of the free ones. It's called Donut. Everyone, the advanced donut visual. Now remember, you can only go to the store if you have signed in. Without signing in, you will not be able to go to the custom visuals. So please download this, everyone, the advanced donut visual. How do you download and install it? Simply go to add. And this is beautiful, right? This is where it has been created, the drill down donut chart. Now see how nice this is. I can keep up to 3 levels in it. So the first level I'm keeping is my segment. No, let's keep my market. Then let's keep my region, and then I'll keep my segment. And then in the values, we'll keep the sales value. Now, how is it different from a regular pie or a donut chart? It is interactive. I can actually click on it. I mean, I can click on regular charts as well, but this will look much better. So when I click on Asia Pacific, did you see what happened? It is showing me all the regions in Asia Pacific. If I click on Oceania, it is showing me all the 3 segments in Oceania. How do you go back? You simply click in the center to go back like this. In the free version, up to 3 levels are supported. In the paid version, you have more levels.
Sir, can you repeat the once again for that from that adding parts?
Yeah, so I went to more visuals, right? And from more visuals, we simply downloaded the donut chart. This one, advanced donut visual by Zoom Charts. Right? Of course, we'll do many more, but I just wanted to give you an idea as to how this brilliant charts are available, right? I mean, if you had to do the same thing in, let's say, Python, you would have had to write the code for this. In Power BI, you just have to download, install, and immediately start to work with it. Okay, so we have done our donut chart. Perfect. So we have seen today the Power Platform, which is Power BI for visualization, Power Apps for creating apps, Power Automate for RPA, and Power Virtual Agents for chatbots. Of course, Power BI is very similar to other tools in the market, but it's the #1 in the market. After that, we have seen Q&A, which is question and answer, works very nicely. Then I have the first dashboard that we created. So we created a map. We had 2 cards. We had a column chart, or whichever one you created, column, line, pie chart, right? Not a pie chart, area chart. Then we created a slicer. We created another slicer with the time. And we had another visualization with the Q&A. So top 3, customer name by sales. And we have done one custom visualization, which is this one, right? Tomorrow, we will do a few more visualizations, and we will also start with Power Query. Right? Great. Anything you would like to ask me?
So for for the advanced things that we'll be doing tomorrow and including this donut chart, we'll have to sign in, right? It's required then.
No. All the advanced things that we do, which is writing formulas and using Power Query, you don't need to sign in.
Sir, last question is a very silly question. Sir, can you show once again how in the format there? Can you copy the once again the table? Sorry, field. Actually, I am unable to do that. Can you say once again?
No. What
Sorry
is
for
it
the
that you
very
want me to do?
Sir, can you go back to the format option in the Power BI?
Format for what? For one of the visuals or for the page?
Sir, for that actually, first of all, you before that dashboard, you can first of all select the sales and profit in the Q&A. That's why first of all you take the sales. After that you take the profit. Then you first you copy that field. That's why I want to ask that part also again.
No, I'm not able to follow your question. Be very specific. What is the question that you have?
Actually, sir, first of all, before you create the dashboard,
okay.
Then first of all you go to that format. First of all you select the sales. After that, in the background, the sales value is coming in the summation, and then you can take the another field is called profit. So my question is that how it copy that another field in this format portion. That's why my question is
in the format portion.
Yes, sir. The left one.
Sir, he's actually asking like how you copy those one card and another card.
Copy paste.
No, sir. This is fine. This is Control C, Control P. So I want to ask them in the visualization part. That's why I want ask that.
No, I ask me in a different way. I'm not able to.
Okay, sir. Then I'll check. Then I'll ask tomorrow.
No, that's okay. You can ask me. See, to be a good consultant, right? The client might be stupid, right? So you have to try and ask in a different way. I'm not saying no task. I'm asking you to ask me in a different way so that maybe I can understand. So just try one more time. Otherwise, we'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, sir. I can ask you tomorrow. First of all, I done it by myself. Then I'll ask tomorrow.
No problem at all. You try it yourself. Otherwise, just remind me when we meet tomorrow, and we'll solve that for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
He can probably screen share, sir. He can probably share the screen and show you directly where he's.
Okay, let's try that.
No. Actually, I using my Zoom through my mobile and.
No problem. So you try it, and then tomorrow, if you're still not able to do it, we'll solve that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cool. Anything else? Anyone?
Sir, if we want to use this dashboards in a static format in PowerPoint or in Canva.
No, you can do it even dynamically in PowerPoint. And I'm so happy to tell you this because till March, we did not have this option, right? You had to take screenshots and put it in PowerPoint. But finally, we have Power BI and PowerPoint integration. Unfortunately, it has not been released yet. It will come very soon, right? Hopefully in 1 month or 2 months, but I'll just show you how that works. We have been waiting for this day for 6 years. That feature has finally come. Let me just show you. I don't know why I can't find the link. Just a minute. That's quite strange. Hold on.
Sir, I can find a doc where it says export entire Power BI report to PowerPoint.
No, not that. The export is static, no? So that's not the one that we want. 1 second. I'll find it. Takes a while, but we'll find it. Hold on. Okay, the link is not working. Okay, I can't find it, but anyway, the feature has been released in March, but then it hasn't been released to all users. But very soon, in hopefully a month or 2 months, what will happen is in PowerPoint, you can go to insert and there will be an option called Power BI. So you can insert your Power BI report directly in PowerPoint and it will be a dynamic Power BI report within your slide. Right? But so far that feature has not come. I can't seem to find it for you, but then this is how it will work. Like in the insert button, you will have a Power BI button that will come here.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right?
So it says there's a Power BI tile that will be added to
Yeah,
the
that's a third-party tool that doesn't work well. This is going to be native, so Microsoft is going to officially give you the ability to show Power BI and PowerPoint. I'm still not sure why I can't seem to find it, but yeah, just one moment. Anyway, it's not important. I mean, it's going to come in a couple of months in any case, right? Cool. Any other question? All good? All right. So tomorrow we will continue with this example. We'll do a few more visuals and we will also do Power Query. And then on the third day, we will do DAX, data analysis expression. So I'll tell you how to write Excel-like formulas on Power BI, right? Perfect. All right. So thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow at the same time.
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.